Okay, so today we're going to talk about parallel lines. And the big thing to remember is parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, so the first handful of problems are going to ask, there's going to be 3 lines, and it's going to say which lines are parallel, if any, so it could be none. Okay, but so you're just going to find the slope of those lines, and if they're the same, then we're good, and if they're not, then they're not parallel. So remember that slope is change in the y direction over change in the x direction. So if we had this line, and we had this line, there's going to be 2 points on the lines that you're going to look at. So I always go left to right, so whichever point's farthest to the left. So change in y, I'm going to go down 1, so that'd be like -1, and then to the right 2, so this one is -1/2. And then I would go down 1 and to the right 2, so that one is also -1/2. So then, yes, these lines are parallel. Okay, so that's one thing that you'll have to do. You'll have a couple, I think. So if it gave you, let me do a new screen. If it gave you 2 sets of coordinates, so let's see if it said 4, 6, and 5, 4, and then on another one it said 3, 4, and 5, 0. Are they parallel? So change in y over change in x. So from 6 to 4, that's the y, that went down 2. And then from 4 to 5, that went up 1. So I'd have a slope of -2. And then do the same thing on this one. So from 4 to 0, that went down 4. And from 3 to 5, that went up 2. So that's also -2, so yes, parallel. Okay, so you'll have a couple on a graph, a couple where they give you some coordinates to work with, and then they give you some equations to work with. So are they parallel? So really we need to know the slope. So what we have to do is put them in slope-intercept form. So it does take a little bit of time here to solve. So the slope is -1, that negative in front of the x. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing in terms of moving the x over by adding or subtracting. Just depends on the problem. And we get x plus 4. So the slope on this one is +1. So these ones are not parallel, because we have -1 and +1, not the same. So those ones do take a little bit more time to do, but just comparing slopes. All right, then the last group of problems, it's going to ask you to write an equation. And typically, let's see if it says it, write an equation of the line that passes through the given point and is parallel to the given line. So it doesn't say it, but we're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form, but parallel to, let's see, y equals 2x plus 3, that's pretty sloppy. That goes through 5, -4. So you're going to get the slope from the equation that's given to you. So in this problem, the slope is 2. And the 2 way over here. Then we're gonna plug in to slope-intercept form. So here's kind of the slopes are parallel, or excuse me, the lines are parallel, so the slopes are the same. So in my original equation, we have y equals 2x plus 3. Well, the answer is going to be y equals 2x plus something different. The slopes are the same, but now that, so the 2x part will be the same. So what we plug in is we plug in the coordinate, that's an x and a y. So for the y, I put -4. The 2 is still there, because it's going to be a 2 at the end. The x is a 5, and then I don't know that number at the end. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm trying to figure out this question mark. And so I solve it all the way down. So the new b is -14. so let's do one more just to make sure we're okay. Because you will have a couple like this. So it's going to give you an equation. And then it'll give you a point. So this one's a little tricky just because we have to find the slope from the line. So I've got to get it in slope-intercept form. Get y equals, and again I can't divide that, but that's negative 1/2. I can reduce it. And really the 3 part at the end isn't like that important. I need the slope from the line. So in my answer is going to be y equals negative 1/2 x, and then I don't know. So now I plug in my point and the slope into y equals mx plus b. So the y part of my point is 7. The m is negative 1/2. The x is 2, and b. So always these first 3 things you'll plug into, and then b you want to. Okay, so we get negative 1/2 times 2. What's half of 2? Half of 2 is 1, but negative. So the b is 8. So that means over here I have plus 8. Alright, so there'll be a couple, let me see, there's 4 of those problems. 2 of them, it'll already be slope-intercept form, and 2 of them will be like this one. Add or subtract the x over, and then divide by the 2. If the x is already, or the 2, or the 4 in this case, whatever the number might be. If the x is already over on the right, then you'll just divide. Okay? So if you've been kind of working on the writing equations, this should be something that we can definitely handle. Okay? All right. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Knock out the assignment, and we'll see you tomorrow.